Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Good morning. Sorry. Yes. Yes. So, as far as we have completed in rules of inferences, like rule P, you have already come to know that, rule T, and then rule CP. Last one we discussed in the last session, that is indirect method. Okay. So, I hope you can remember the particular rules about rule CP and then rule indirect method. So here, actually indirect method, and then there is one more that is not comes under rules, but certainly there you will apply some basic rules to get into that. So that's why they have kept under the rules of inference. Okay, that is also added as the additional rule of inferences. Okay, see here, in which rule CP, if suppose in your question, if suppose if it isn't of the form like implication notation, that time you should start assume the first part as your assumption. That means additional premise or assumed premise. Second part alone you are supposed to derive as a conclusion. Finally, by using rule CP, you should make a connection between your additional premise and your derived conclusion that can be combined with the notation implication. That rule is called rule CP. Okay. So in your indirect method, in certain cases, you could not derive the answer in an easier way. Sometimes you could not even apply CP rule also. If suppose in such cases also, if the question is provided with a notation negation, not in all the cases, but you can predict in this manner, it's a shortcut also. If suppose if the conclusion is given with the notation implication, that sorry negation, that time there will be the possibilities to apply the indirect method. Okay, not always, but in such cases it can work. So you can just cross check when the problem comes. Okay, so if suppose if you plan to apply the indirect method, means that time you need to follow the ways, like you need to consider your conclusion in the negation format. Finally, you are supposed to arrive at the conclusion as your contradiction manner. Okay, if you are arrived your conclusion is derived conclusion is contradiction, means then you can directly revert back to your assumption as wrong. So that means you are initially assumed as negation. So if you are revert into the proper form, means you can remove the negation. Simply you can say the answer. That is your method is called indirect method. Okay, now we can add one more method, that is inconsistent. So before that, we'll just take a practice on this indirect method. One more problem which I have already given as homework. Is there any more persons who have solved this? Anyone have tried this?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, very good. Have you got the answer,
Yes, sir.
others? Okay, fine. So if it is not so, so I just finish this problem as a recall. In quickly I can complete in 3 to 4 minutes. See here. See here. First, you need to write like steps. Oh, my digital pen is not working. 1 minute. Okay, fine. Okay. Yes. See here. Now we'll finish this problem in 2 minutes. So here, steps. Okay, rules. See here, use indirect method to show that the answer is negation P. So straight away they have provided the method what you should follow. So first you need to take a negation of your conclusion. So negation of negation P. So by using rule P, that is your assumed premise or additional premise. You should mention like this. Okay, after this. So if you take negation of negation this, that is actually P. Okay. So next. I can just be allowed to introduce other 4 premises. Okay, I am allowed to take any premise, not a problem. Always I have to be aware about to cancel any terms which is related to your first step. So can you just predict which step can be introduced as a first premise?
P implies Q.
Very
P implies
P implies Q. Always you should predict like this kind of ideas. Anyway, some of other guys have some other ideas, not a problem. You will get some extra step. That's the difference between you and me. So maybe steps may be different, but you also reach the same answer. I also reach the same answer. Okay. Now here you are applying the rule P. Later you can just combine both the steps by applying the rule T 1 and then 2. What rule I am going to apply there?
First one.
No respondents. So here Q will be the answer in your 4th step. After this,
we can introduce 2 statements.
Yes, which statement?
The first and the third one.
Yes, I'm allowed to use either negation P or Q. Sorry, negation. Okay, so here I can even try to introduce the third one also, not a problem. Okay, I'll be getting the same answer only. Okay, after this, how can I proceed further?
Logical equivalence.
Logical equivalence, how the steps can be transformed.
So if we use the first premise and the third premise and we apply the logical equivalence,
also,
we can use
see
distributive.
here, yeah, exactly, you reached the point what I have planned to say. See here, there is one more possibility to apply here, like by applying the negation Q, sorry, Q implies negation R. Okay, if it is so, you can remove QQ. That is also one more possibility. So instead of that, since they are used the indirect method, so to show your answer in a false manner, that means contradict manner. So that time either you should try to show the answer like P and negation P and Q and negation Q and R and negation R. There are 3 possibilities to show. Sorry, one more. Yes and negation is. There are 4 possibilities are there, in which certainly you will not receive one case. Can you just predict which will not be there in that?
First one.
Yes, because already you are taken that your assumption. So certainly this formation will not be happened even if you try any other formulas. But there are the possibilities if you use another formulas, you will be getting like R and negation R. Sometimes if another person is using another way means they will get the answer like this. So if another one person, there are 3 possibilities, okay, to show the answer. Now, already since I have already got the answer as Q, my aim is to get negation Q. Hope you understood what I'm trying to say. Then it is easily connect Q and negation Q by using the basic conjunction rule of theory of inferences. So I can show the answer is getting in the contradict manner. I can conclude the answer. Have you got the idea what I'm trying to say on it?
yes.
Okay. So that's a short manner. You can easily say the answer. If suppose if you are not understood this step, you can just formally proceed as your practice already, not a problem. You will get extra steps like 3 or 4 steps. That's the difference. Okay. So I'm not forcing you to follow this step. Please keep in mind. Okay. So it is not necessary. It is not a unique method to follow the problem to get your answer. You can follow any one of the way. Okay. Now. How can I? Yes. Sorry. Sorry.
RRS.
RRS. Okay, fine. RRS by using rule P. So I think I have introduced all the 4 premises, right? So now I should connect any one of this and then I should try to say the answer. So what are all the steps can be connected?
Logical equivalence for 4 and 5.
4 and why not? For 4 and 6 also that can be connected, right? That's your way, not a problem. 4 and 6, no, 4 and 5. Okay, from 4 and 5, how the way can be proceeded?
So for firstly for 4 and 5 we have to apply logical equivalence, and then we can use the distributive law.
Yeah, for your first step, that means in your fourth step, how the steps can be modified if you apply the logical equivalence. That's what I'm asking. Your prediction is correct.
Negation R union Q.
Very good, super. In your fourth step, if you apply the logical equivalence formula, you will get the formation like negation R and negation Q, right? So after this, it's quite easy to conclude the manner. Like after this, see here, I'm getting negation R and negation Q. If I connect this, what I can connect?
Similarly, we can do it for the fifth step also.
Yes, fifth step. Yeah. So if I apply the same for fifth step by applying the logical equivalence, negation yes or negation Q, then how can I connect? Now,
distributive law.
by applying the distributive law, so the distributive law can be written like negation R, negation Q, and negation yes or negation Q. Okay, so here what step can be taken out commonly?
Negation Q union.
Yes, negation Q R can be taken as common. So the remaining term will be negation R and negation yes. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Distributive law. Okay. After this step. Yeah. Now. After
So,
this.
negation R and negation S is basically negation of sixth step.
Very good. So here, if I connect this like, see, that means, yeah, see, negation, this is of the form like, can I say this like Q implies negation of R and negation S? Can I say this term like negation Q or negation R and S can be written like this? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is actually logical equivalence formula. After this step, furthermore, still it can be further modified like negation of R or S. So this is from the step logical equivalence. Again, have you understood up to this 11th step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
now,
sir.
now you can predict what will be the next step. See here, you have got the answer in your 11th step, like Q implies negation of RRS. Still there is one more pending premise, that is RRS to be used. So by
We can
connecting
use disjunctive syllogism.
very good. By using disjunctive syllogism, this negation of RRS and then RRS can be connected. Applying the disjunctive syllogism, it will get cancelled. So what will be the final answer if you are able to connect those
Negation
steps?
Q.
Negation Q. Very good. Absolutely correct. So here 6th and then 11th. I think 6th step. Yeah. So now you are going to conclude the answer. So previously you have got the answer as Q. That is in your 3rd step. In your 12th step, you have got the answer as negation Q. So Q and negation Q can be connected. So the final, see here, you should mention that T6th, sorry, 3rd. Okay. 3rd and then 12th. So here basic conjunction rule. So this answer is false. So you can mention this, which is a contradiction. Now can you say what is the correct assumption? The correct assumption is? The correct assumption is?
Not P.
Not P is your correct answer. Okay. Okay, so here you are proved in a different way by taking your conclusion in the negation format, finally you are attain the answer in a false manner. So from which answer shows the negative of your assumption. So your correct assumption is you need to remove that negation. So negation P is the original answer. Okay. Have you understood this problem, or did I confuse you by writing this kind of 13 steps? There will be the possibilities to reduce the number of steps. You can try in different way. Instead of applying this, you can, if it is possible, you can try.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, can we use dilemma condition in this?
In what way?
Sir, R union S, S implies not Q and R implies not Q. So the
Yeah,
answer will be not Q.
it's possible. It's possible. You can, instead of getting Q and negation Q, I think you will be getting like S and negation S. Even I
Yes.
didn't know. Previously, before starting the class, I was trying to solve this problem in a separate note. That time I have got the answer in different way. I didn't know. I have got the answer same in 13 steps only, but I didn't know. Okay, anyway, so it's possible to get the answer in different dimension. Okay, it is not required to follow unique way to get the answer always like Q and negation Q alone. Okay, if it is possible, if you are able to apply any other rules to get the answer in like R and negation R or yes and negation yes, no, it's possible, it can be acceptable only, not at all problem. Have you understood this?
Sir,
Yes, please.
can you explain the seventh step again, sir?
Seventh step. 1 minute.
The logical equivalence says if R then Q negation Q, then it should be negation R and negation Q.
See
And you have
here.
written.
This is seventh step has written from the step 4. Okay, the formula says like the formula P implies Q means negation P R Q. That is the formula. Okay,
Sir,
so I can.
Sir, I checked. It is and I think so.
No. You can check properly. See, I'll show the
Okay,
formulas.
I have written.
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. I think you have written wrongly. I'll show the
Yes,
formula. Yes. Can you able to see that? P implies Q, negation P R. That
Yes,
is the
sir.
formula. Okay. Yeah. Any other doubts on this problem?
No, sir, sir.
I think one more girl has raised the doubt.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, is it compulsory to not prove P and not P, or is it allowed? As we have assumed our assumed premise is P.
No. Actually, it is restricted to show like P and negation P. Why means because P is the term already given in the format negation P. Okay, so you are taking that your conclusion as the P itself, then how the way can be shown that if it is allowed means in third step itself you can show the answer without using the premises, you can straight away show the answer as it is a contradiction. Can you get the point what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why actually here the point is in your premises, that means in your theory of inferences, you need to use all the premises. At the same time, you should not use the premise twice the times or thrice the times. It is allowed to use only one time. So at the same time, you need to involve all the premises inside the derivation. That time you need to verify whether the conclusion is attained correctly or not with respect to all the premises. That's the intention. You are not allowed to skip any one premises from the given question. Have you got the point?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, fine, thank you. Always you can raise the questions like this. It could be really appreciable so that you will get some clear idea about the concept. Even in the exam point of view, if the other questions comes that thing, the questions and clarifications can be made to face the exam in an easier way. So you can be a strong, more perfectly strong in your topic. So please, it's appreciable to raise this kind of questions. So please, you can be interactive during the class sessions. Thank you. Okay, before getting to the next problem, we'll just finish the attendance part. Yes, please attend the form, fill the attendance form as soon as possible.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I have a doubt regarding this indirect method.
Yes, yes,
Um,
please.
Sir, in the general method, I'm a little bit confused with. So in the starting, we take the negation of the conclusion we're trying to prove, right, as an additional
Yes, yes,
premise.
you're right, you're right.
And
Yeah.
then we go till the end and derive,
Yes.
and then we will get like the conclusion we should get as false.
False. Yes.
Sir, after that, I don't get how to do it. Till there, I understood. After
That's the
that,
final step. That's the final step.
So we write false, and then we say correct assumption.
We write
is-
false. This false means you are getting the answer as a false. That means whatever you are assumed, that is false. That's the thing they are trying to say, which is a contradiction. So what you have assumed, your assumed was like negation of negation P. That was the thing you are assumed. So in which this assumption is wrong means then you should revert back to remove that negation. So certainly negation P will be the correct answer. That's what they have given as the conclusion. That's your desired conclusion. You have proved like.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay, see here the problem is given like already I have told you many times, always you should not expect the questions will be given in the symbolic form. Sometimes the question can be given in this format like theory. Your duty first assigned task, you need to convert the given theory part into the mathematical symbolic notations by using variables. After that, you need to proceed further as you practiced already for the rest of the other problems. Okay. So this is the way you should primarily you should do the first part to convert the given question into your symbolic format. Okay. See here, the question is as like, show that the following premises are inconsistent. Okay. So that's the last thing you should you're going to discuss. So in your rules of inferences, that is the last thing they are given. See here, inconsistent means you will be provided the premises. If you take the conjunction between them, you will arrive the conclusion as a contradiction. There are completely same when you compare with the indirect method. In your indirect method, you will be done one more extra step. In your indirect method, what you have done extra step like you would have arrived like a false. After that, your assumption is wrong with respect to the false you are getting. So you need to revert back to your assumption, correct assumption as you need to remove that negation. You will say the answer as negation P, whatever the conclusion is given. But here in this inconsistent case, you will be getting the same steps. Instead of getting to the first step as taking the negation of that, you should not consider like assumed premise. You need to consider only the given premises. You need to proceed the problem until you are getting the answer as false. Okay, I hope you have understood the problem. See, indirect method, your first step should be written like by introducing one additional premise that can be taken negation of the conclusion. That is the indirect method. Finally, you will be shown like false you are getting. But in your inconsistent case, you are not allowed to introduce any additional premise or assumed premise. But by using the same premises, whatever they are given in the question, by proceeding the manner what you have practiced already, finally you need to show the answer as a contradiction. That's it. Have you got the idea about the inconsistent method? Is it clear, or is there any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Now we can enter into symbolize the given statements. See here, I always used to follow the way like, see here, better. Okay, so better I can copy there. See this. Okay. Yes. See here, I always used to follow the way. See, first you are going to symbolize instead of writing that. I already took this screen snapshot and then I have pasted over there. So please listen. See here, if Jack misses many classes through illness, then he fails high school. Okay. First, you need to name the given premises, like the given statements. If Jack misses many classes, so I can just take this as classes C. Okay, basic notation. Then he fails high school, so I can take like high school H. Okay, if Jack fails high school, already or introduced high school, he is uneducated. So uneducated. So uneducated can be used like U, something like. If Jack reads lot of books, so lot of books can be taken as B. Now you can just start symbolize the given premises, first premises. Can you just symbolize the first premise with respect to this variables?
C implies H.
C implies H.
C implies H. Second,
H implies U.
H implies B. Sorry.
U.
H implies U. Okay, third,
B implies
Implies negation U.
negation U. Very good. Last one,
C and U.
E and U.
very
E and U.
okay. So here
C
they
and-
didn't use if then. So they are just use and symbol only. So C and I think B, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now I can proceed the same way. There is no doubt into that. So you can easily get the answer. Okay, better I can copy this because it will be required. Okay. Okay, so I have missed to copy the last one, that is C and B. Now I can apply the same way. Steps, derivation, and then rules. So first step, I can introduce whatever the way is convenient. So C implies H by using rule P. Okay. So here assign task is you need to show the answer as false. Okay. Either in this manner, C and negation C, or H and negation H, or U and negation U, or B and negation B. There are 4 possibilities are there. Okay. So here I can just take C implies H and then H implies U. Is it possible to connect first and second step
C implies U.
by using the rule?
Modus ponens.
What is ponens?
Hypothetical
Hypothetical
syllogism.
syllogism.
Hypothetical syllogism. That's the correct one. Okay. So a hypothetical syllogism, I have just simplified C implies Q, H, H, and then can be removed. After that, and then third, so totally I have introduced 2 premises. So rest I should use other 2 premises. So I can take the third one. So B implies negation U as the third one. So how can I connect third and then fourth? Can you try to say? C implies U there, B implies negation U is there.
So C implies negation B.
Sorry?
Implies negation B.
No, I cannot get your voice.
C
Bif-
implies negation B.
C implies negation B.
Yes,
C
sir.
implies
C
negation.
implies negation B.
Is it right? Anyway, you have, I think you have skipped one step. In your 4th step, I think you have skipped.
So
Anyway,
U
your answer is
implies
right.
negation B, and then C implies negation.
Then this point is correct. See, that could be the valid point. See here, first you need to apply the simplification on the 4th step, like by changing the positions of U implies negation B by applying the rule T for the step number 4. Logical equivalence, what it says, like P implies Q means that is equivalent to negation Q implies negation P. By using that, I can easily rewrite like U implies negation P. After that, your point is valid. So C implies U, U implies negation B. So C implies negation B. Okay. Whenever you are writing on step means that should be monitored perfectly. See, you should not skip even one rule. Okay. So here that rule is called hypothetical syllogism. Okay. After that, so I have used 3 premises. So still only one more, that is C and B. C and B. So this is nothing but rule P by using rule P. See here, totally have used C implies negation, sorry, all the 4 premises, but it is required to conclude the answer like false manner. Sorry, someone is trying to say something. Okay. So after this, so I should try to say the answer. Totally in my hands, totally I have just 6th step and then 7th step. So I should try to say the answer is false. Okay. So this time already it was designed like you should get the answer like false. That's what they asked you to show the answer. So here first I need to expand it like your 6th step can be written like. Very good. Negation C or negation B by using rule T for the step number 6, logical equivalence. I have given the clue for this. Now, can you try to say any other steps to show the answer as? No, not any other steps. After the steps, how the step can? Sorry?
De Morgan's law.
Very good. By applying the De Morgan's law for the step number 8, I can get the answer by taking negation out. C and B will become. So this is for the step 8, De Morgan's law. Okay, now.
Theory of inference was 7 and 8.
Theory of inference. That's a basic conjunction rule between 7th step and the 9th step. This is also can be considered as one statement, right? This is also can be considered as another statement. I can take the conjunction between 2 statements for the steps number 7 and then 9. Basic theory of inference rule. So I can connect both the things like C and B and negation of C and B. What is the answer for this?
False.
So you should say the answer like the premises are. Premises are
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent. That's it. I hope there will not be any doubt into that. See here in your inconsistent method, you should not introduce any additional premise or assumed premise. You should proceed with the premises whatever they are provided in the question. But in your indirect method, you should introduce your conclusion in a negation format that as your assumed premise. Then finally you need to get the answer as a false manner. I hope you can certainly understand the difference between the inconsistent method and then indirect method. Is it fine? Is there any doubt on this problem? This is actually important 10 mark. This was asked around 3 or 4 times in your FAT for the senior batches. So this kind of questions you can surely expect from the model 1. So so with that, model 1 is completed. Okay, see here we have we were at the last just subsection, that is theory of inference for statement calculus. Okay, so with that we have completed the model 1. In the next class we will get into the predicate calculus. So already I have told you that complete model is exactly correlated with the theory of inferences. If you are familiar with that theory of inferences formulas. So certainly the model 2 will be quite easy to you to follow the problems whatever they are provided in model 2. Okay, that's it. Have you understood about the last problem, inconsistent method? Is there any doubt? We understood on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Fine, that's it about the. If there is any doubt, you can just ask me. Otherwise, we can end up the meeting.